How in the world did I manage to build a PC for under $400? By doing the impossible, of course. Let me show you guys. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kobe, and this is it right here. A $400 used gaming PC that I managed to build. Now originally, this was supposed to be a bit of a challenge video to see if I can manage to build a gaming PC with nothing but used parts and the budget cannot exceed $500. But with luck and patience, I managed to build this PC for just under $400. So how did I do it? Well then let me explain. But first, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out, and I'm always pushing out really awesome content that you guys do not want to miss out on. Now with that being said, let me show you all exactly what is in this build and how I managed to find them at such low prices. Now if you guys have not seen my video on how I find used PC parts, make sure you check it out right up here because I go in depth in how I do so. Also, I actually built this PC live on Twitch. If you guys have not yet, make sure you guys are following me on Twitch at MetsandKobe, where I talk tech, games, and sports if you guys are into that stuff. Now a little disclaimer, chances are you won't be able to replicate this exact build. In early 2021, finding good prices of components is extremely difficult. It actually took me about 3 months to find all of these parts that you guys are going to be seeing right here. You can definitely find some great deals on used hardware, but make sure you take your time in doing so. You probably won't be able to find these cheap parts in just a matter of a few days, so definitely keep that in mind when I'm showing you what's in this build. But to start off with the processor, this is the Ryzen 5 1600 AF. Now this is the only new part that I purchased for this build, as Amazon had a random restock of this processor sometime in January of 2021. This is a 6-core, 12-thread CPU that's actually on the Zen Plus architecture, so it's actually a 2600 with a lower boost clock. This restocked for $100, which is a great price brand new. When this first came out, it was $85 a couple of years ago, so to see it restock for $100 is not a bad deal. The motherboard is the MSI B450 Tomahawk. Now I picked this up used on Hardware Swap for $50. It has all the basic features needed on a motherboard, except for Wi-Fi of course, and for the price, it was a no-brainer. Now the seller mentioned that he has some audio issues with the front panel, but I figured the back audio ports will do just fine, especially for the price. For the RAM, I managed to get the Crucial Ballistic Sport. This is a 16GB kit running at 2400 MHz. Now yes, I understand that 2400 MHz is slow to pair with Ryzen, but the reason I got this was because of the price. Guys, I paid only $20 for this kit. How the hell did I find such a deal? Well, I managed to find someone on Craigslist selling the kit for $40. When he found out I was a 40-minute drive away, he felt bad and decided to give it to me at half price. He claims this came as a bundle for other components and didn't really need it, so I jumped on this deal as fast as I possibly could. For $20, I do not mind the slower speeds. I doubt I could ever find this kit for this price ever again. The GPU was a bit of a harder find, but I managed to pull it off somehow. I picked up this MSI RX 570 4GB card for only $130 from eBay. Now this, like the RAM deal that I got, was so hard to find, but it is not impossible. It took some time, and I was involved in a bidding war, but I managed to win it. I think this is a great price considering the market, and finding more powerful cards would have easily passed my budget, so I think that this would be a very nice deal. As for the storage, I went for a 120GB PNY SSD and a 1TB Toshiba hard disk drive. These aren't the best options, but I wanted to go for a low cost as I possibly could, while still having decent speeds and capacity. The PNY SSD does not have any DRAM, but it does boot Windows and other programs pretty fast, and the 1TB hard drive is decent enough to store a handful of games. I got the SSD for about $17 and the hard drive for about $20 from eBay. The power supply is the EVGA BR450. This is a 450 watt bronze rated power supply with all black cables, and it only cost me $25. I picked this up on EVGA B-Stock, where they frequently stock up on refurbished components, mainly power supplies. I have used EVGA B-Stock power supplies multiple times in the past, and I've never had an issue. That's why I opted for it, and if you guys are looking to save just a few bucks, I highly recommend you guys check it out. And lastly, this case is the Fantex P300. Now in regards to this case, I actually did not buy it. This was part of a cyber power pre-build that I scrapped for parts a while ago. When it comes to cases, pricing will definitely vary on the used market. And since cases can be subjective, I can't really say to get this specific case for a build. I just happen to have it lying around, and you can find PC cases for under $40 on used sites like Craigslist and Hardware Swap, among others. And sometimes you will even find people who will be willing to give away old cases for free. So pricing can be all over the place. For this video, let's just say that the case was $30. You can actually find even cheap new cases on Newegg for around that price, so we will leave it at that. Now, you guys are definitely seeing some RGB flair going on this case. One of the components here is actually an RGB strip that came with the case, which is a really nice feature. But these fans, these are the Jim RGB case fans. Jim was very kind enough to send them to me to check it out, and I figured I'd show it off in this build. It's a great looking set of RGB fans that have their own hub. You can connect up to 12 fans to the hub, and they are all controlled via a remote. You can change the color, effects, and even the fan speeds with this remote, which I believe is incredibly dope considering you don't even need to use any actual software to control them. They look really great and have great airflow. For about $30, you really cannot go wrong with this set, and I am truly grateful to Jim for sending these out for me to check out. Thank you so much. Now, I do wish that these were the all black fans instead of the white ones that they sent me, because I think the all black fans would definitely look absolutely baller in this all black case. But I can't complain since they were so kind in sending it out to me. So in total, the build cost me exactly $397, not including the fans, and that is adding $30 for the case. That is an incredible price considering the specs. But how does this gaming PC actually perform? I tested 8 games at 1080p at their highest respective graphical settings to give you all the worst case scenario in terms of frames per second. Check out the benchmarks and we will come back to discuss the overall performance of this PC. Now looking at all of the benchmarks, I am extremely pleased with all of the results. Basically, this PC can handle AAA titles if you manage to lower some of the graphical settings, and you can easily play most esport titles with frames hanging from the low 60s to even almost 200 on games like Valorant. Now, of course, I did all these tests at their highest possible graphical settings to show you guys what the worst case scenario can be, but you can definitely lower the settings to get higher FPS in all of these titles. Now, the only game that actually gave me issues was Warzone, because the RX 570 only has 4 gigs of VRAM, which forced me to play it at its normal settings. The game would actually glitch if I played it at anything higher than that. But besides that, this is a very strong showing, even with slower RAM. Alright, so there you guys have it. I managed to do the impossible and build a PC for not only $500, but actually under that, which is absolutely insane during these times. You really have to look hard to find components at these prices, and I somehow managed to do so. Now, this build is not perfect. I would prefer to change a couple of things. One, I would prefer to have faster RAM. 3000 MHz would be my preference here. And I would like to get a bigger SSD because I feel like 120 gigabytes is way too small in my opinion. But since I was going for as cheap as possible, I didn't mind it for this specific challenge. I'm still in shock at how cheap I managed to find some of these parts, but I was glad I was able to show this super rare build for you guys. It's definitely possible to build a PC in 2021 considering the price hikes and scalping. You just have to be very persistent in your search and definitely show some patience. But I hope you guys definitely enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit like and also do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next one.